Hey everyone, Justin here with your devotional thought for the day. I just finished reading this book, Treaty of the Great King by Meredith Kline, and it looks at, as you can see the subtitle there, the covenant structure of Deuteronomy. A little dry, a little tough to get through, but the ending, some of the thoughts on the ending brought me to a place of such praise and doxology that I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you from that as well, sort of flowing out of what he was getting at with this book. So let's talk about Deuteronomy for a second. Um, Backing up, we have Moses delivering the people out of Egypt, right? Of course, God through Moses, but Moses brings these people through the Red Sea and brings them to Mount Sinai, where they receive the Ten Commandments and the law in Exodus there. And because of their unfaithfulness, their grumbling, etc., that generation is forced to wander through the desert until they all are dead. And so they wander for 40 years, and as they finally get to the promised land, which I think otherwise would have been like a 10, 11-day march, something like that, under normal conditions, right as they get to the boundary of this promised land that they have been waiting for and hoping for 40 years of wandering and 400 years of slavery before that, here comes the book of Deuteronomy and a renewal of the covenant. And this covenant existed to govern the life of the people in the promised land, all with an eye towards delivering the Messiah. So one more thought before we get into the text. Recall that Moses is not allowed to enter into the promised land because of his prior disobedience and distrust. So that brings us to Deuteronomy 34. Let's read this part together. Then Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is opposite Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land. Skipping down to verse 4. And the Lord said to him, This is the land of which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to your offspring. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you shall not go over there. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in the valley of the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, but no one knows the place of his burial to this day. So Moses gets to go up on this mountain, Mount Nebo, and he gets to look out and see the promised land with his own eyes. I can't help but think about Moses being hidden in the cleft of the rock on another mountain, seeing the glory of God pass by. And we got to think about Moses standing up there after all he's endured on behalf of God's people, interceding for them so frequently, turning away God's wrath. He knows what's coming. He knows he has to die, but he at least gets to see with his own eyes this promised land. Let's think about a few similarities or contrasts between the mediator of the Old Covenant, Moses, and the mediator of the New Covenant, Jesus. Well, for one, when Moses died, he was succeeded by Joshua. Pretty good deal for the Israelites. But even better, Jesus, when he died, he was succeeded by himself, because death could not hold him and had no claim over him. Another point of comparison is that Moses redeemed the people out of Israel, of course God doing the work through human means, but Moses brings the people out of Israel to this point, and then Joshua brings them the rest of the way into the promised land. But comparatively, Jesus does not do a partial job, waiting for someone else to pick it up and finish it. Jesus redeems us out of our bondage to sin, death, and the devil, and he brings us all the way home. We do not have a mediator who does a partial job, leaving work for anyone else to do, whether that is another mediator or you yourself. He is not a partial savior. He does not make salvation possible. He saves his people to the uttermost. Well, friends, a bit of homework for you if you choose to accept it. You don't have to, but if you want to, go on Amazon Music, YouTube, whatever, look up Ghost Ship Mediator. Turn up your volume to 11 or 12 if yours goes that high, as high as it goes, and fire up that song, listen to it. It'll get stuck in your head. Listen to it over and over again and praise our great mediator. All right. Take care. God bless. See you soon.